Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. I'm going to take a break from a Monket deck building simply because, well, it hadn't come out yet, and I've about done all I can do without the cards. So, we're going to talk about Niv Mizzet. He is absolutely the card-drawn machine. He's exactly what Izzet wants to be doing. The first thing I want to talk about is the obvious inclusion of Wheel of Fortune, and that is blurry. Wheel of Fortune is obviously one of the greatest cards I think ever made. It goes all the way back. Now, how you keep from screwing yourself with Wheel of Fortune is because everybody discards their hand and draws 7 cards. Now, obviously, in the red burn decks of the past, you were going to wait until this is your last card. It's a refill. You're probably screwing your opponents out of some good cards. But just in case that's not happening, Library of Lang, most people stop reading at the skip your discard phase. However, if something makes you discard, you can choose to discard to the top of your library rather than your graveyard. So you can wheel somebody out and not wheel yourself out because you can just keep putting your hand back on top of your library. Now, because we have some card drawing shenanigans like that, we obviously have Windfall. I'm trying a different angle today, and I'm not really fond of the glare, so Niv may have to scoot over a little bit. Windfall, of course, the Reforge the Soul. Winds of Change. Time Reversal. All of these are pretty much everybody gets a new hand. And Tolarian Winds. Then the rest of just the straight card draw. Russian Knowledge. Prosperity. I love Prosperity because it's kind of a group hug feel to it. A lot of people don't. Well, it's hard to get in good graces with anyone when they know that Niv is your general. But that was the rest of the. I'm trying out Recurring Insight just because there are people who love to draw cards and have ginormous hands and whatnot. So, trying it out, to be honest with you, I have yet to actually draw it and cast it. The Faithless Looting and Careful Study, of course. Brainstorm, Tidings, and Whispers of the Muse. Whispers of the Muse I do love. Oh, that's better. I love Whispers because it does have buyback. Yes, 6 mana is a hell of a lot to be drawing 1 card. However, if you can keep getting this off, it can activate your Archmage Ascension. Yes, we do have quite a bit of abilities in the deck to draw us cards. Archmage Ascension is not real hard to actually, to get loaded. And once you do, man, it's a problem. Of course, we cannot talk about Niv Mizzet without curiosity. For those that don't see it, this is what we call an infinite loop. Whenever you draw a card, Nivy here, or Niv Mizzle Draco Jizzle, as some folks like to call him. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's Niv Mizzle Fire Mizzle. Anyway. You draw a card, he deals 1 damage. With Curiosity on him, it creates the loop of he dealt the damage and then draw a card. And then each one of these feed each other. It's kind of sick, kind of twisted. It's not infinite, though, because you only have so many cards in your library. This is not a kill the table combo. This is a I'm going to kill 1 person combo. Or maybe if it's late game and everybody's at low life, you might be able to kill the table. But I felt obligated to put it in there the same way as Ophidian Eye. Pretty much the same card. It's just you're paying 2 more mana for the flash ability, which I really love because that way it's the whole damn thing's instant speed. You go from, hey, I just have a Niv Mizzet to you're dead. Signal of Sleep is one that I haven't seen anybody else play with. I love it so much because notice it does not say combat damage. It just says deals damage. So you can actually keep bouncing the world. I mean, you just keep hitting players with Signal of Sleep on it, and they have to just keep bouncing for every card you draw. So you can actually keep Niv Mizzet unblockable just by bouncing all the flyers. I love it. Of course, the Dictate of Krufix and the Thought Reflection. Now, this one, Dictate of the Twin Gods, is not a windmill slam when you draw it. This is a strategy card because there are a lot of decks that love to see this coming. And when you only play this when you have got to, when you've got to kill the table, you've got your combo off, and it's just out of reach and you need to double that damage. Now, Free from the Real and Pimimzara, excuse me, these are cards that there's a whole lot of text on them, but really all it says is blue, untap enchanted creature. You're just going to essentially draw a card for each blue mana you have. That's what it does. You put it on Niv, and you're drawing cards, and it's all cool. I have some utility here. We'll go through it. Obviously, we're going to play with Fabricate because we'll get to artifacts here in a minute. Plea for Power. I like Plea for Power. I really do. It's some of the Will the Council cards were. Conspiracy 2 did it right, and Conspiracy 1 just did it way bad wrong. Conspiracy 1, they're only, just a couple of cards that really matter. I like this one because, you're getting a Time Walk or an Ancestral Recall, so I'm down with it. Shattering Pulse. Why play with Shatter when you can play with a buyback version? How sexy is that? Of course, Temporal Mastery. Ether Eyes. Evacuation's a good card. It really is. And I would be running Evacuation if I had more. But sadly, I love it so much, I'm playing with all of them. But really, Ether Eyes it returns the creatures you want to. Just the ones that are attacking you. That's the only ones I really care about. And then, of course, Deja Vu. I love Deja Vu. One of the few Portal cards I just cannot live without. It's never been reprinted. It's been Portal and Portal 2. Kind of the closest thing to a regrowth that you get in blue. I know there are other versions, but this one's only one blue specific. I could be wrong. I know there's probably more. Now, we got to protect our Niv. Because, let's face it, he's just a 4/4. He's just a dude. He don't have any kind of protection. He's a little dragon out in the big old world. And how do we do that? Well, first, we're going to, give him a cloak and have him steal Avacyn's mask. Maybe take him shopping for some boots. And then we're going to introduce him to his good buddy from Kaladesh, Mr. Baral. I know it was in Ether Revolt, but the plane is Kaladesh. Anyway, instants and sorceries, we have quite a few of those in the deck, which that's what kind of led me down the road to Baral. And y'all have done seen all the instants and sorceries in the deck, but then that got me thinking, well, if I can counter spells, I may be able to draw some cards. Forbid is a masterpiece in this deck because we're drawing so many cards. You can buy it back. It's the one. Arcane Denial, Dismiss. Love that Disallow. Counter target anything is a pretty cool ability. I love the fact that they've got it down to 3 mana, 2 blue and a colorless, because they've played with the casting cost of this ability for a while. And then, of course, Suffocating Blast. Suffocating Blast can counter something and kill a problem. I have some random artifacts. Tormoid's Crypt is, it's a silver bullet for a lot of decks. Got the Mana Rocks. Now, the Ivory Tower just made sense to me simply because we don't have a lot of offense, don't really have a lot of defense, barring our, little combo shenanigans. So Ivory Tower just was kind of a slot right in my mind. Temple Bell, not really impressed with Temple Bell. I'll probably replace this with the card that you put counters on, and you put charge counters on, and then you draw for each charge counter. But right now I'm running Temple Bell. Elixir of Immortality, because as I mentioned earlier in a previous episode, my metagame is obsessed with milling and deck depletion. And of course, Teferi's Puzzle Box. Now, my favorite card to run with Teferi's Puzzle Box, y'all know, is Zur's Weirding. This is not a heavy life gain deck, so I didn't put Zur's Weirding in here. I did put our old buddy Jace, because, what would a blue deck card draw deck be without a Jace? Now, of course, we're living the dream here. I don't like to play Planeswalkers and bank on their ultimate, because I feel like most of the time when you cast a Planeswalker, you're paying that mana for one activation. So make it worth it. So that's just how I personally feel, because if you don't get your mana's worth out of that one activation, it's probably not a good walker. In my opinion. Anyway, but this is one you're going to need to get all the way up there. Yeah, the +1 to draw a card, that's cool, but you really want to draw that 20. Of course, Magus of the Jar and Knucklevi. Knucklevi is my homeboy. I love him. Now, brother from another mother here, I love the fact that it has a different name and we can play with both side by side. Hey, it's all good. Phyrexian Metamorph, of course, it's the best thing to copy with Phyrexian Metamorph is your Consecrated Sphinx, we all know. Whirlpool Warrior, here again, swap out the hand. And last but not least, Labman. Just in case you do go shenanigans and you do get the Curiosity combo off and you do end up drawing your entire library and they point at you and laugh, and then you point to Labman and you laugh back. And that is Niv Mizzet. That is what I've got for you today. I do appreciate you watching. Y'all be sure to like, subscribe, share, post, do all the social things and whatnot. I do appreciate you. But right now, I got to go to work, so it is time to shuffle and cut.